Oh boy. Avengers, you've got some explaining to do. So the saga continues with the major disappointment that is Marvel's Avengers. And now look, I'm pretty harsh on this game, but I have reason to be. I'm one of those people who spent their hard-earned cash on this game, and I've put in probably about close to 50 to 60 hours into the game. So I have reached all the way to their end game and seen all the game has to offer, and yeah, have thoroughly played and dissected that game. So when I say that game is a mediocre disappointment, you can believe me. I have invested my time and money into it. And overall, it is truly an indefensible game, just for the simple fact of when the game came out, what was it, in like August, September, or something like that? I think it was like September. It was originally supposed to come out in May. The fact that this is the delayed version of the game that we got does not bode well at all for what product they were going to be releasing in May. That is, that boggles my mind still to this day. However, those actions have consequences, be it the mismanagement of the dev team, or maybe they switched directions too many times and ran out of time. But I highly doubt of it being, people got lazy. That doesn't just happen with hundreds of people working at a company. Decisions are made more than likely at a higher level that trickle down and ruin the whole entire flow of production. And because of that, there's got to be consequences. And so now a lot of headlines are trending now that Marvel's Avengers has lost millions of dollars for Square Enix. And I think the title is a little bit clickbaity in that regard for a lot of these articles, because it's not necessarily that the game's production, the actual production cost for the game lost it. I think it's based off of the quarter that the game was released in, and their expected profit margins were not met. So it's a little bit trickier in that regard, but still, regardless, no matter which way you dice this whole entire situation, this game is still a failure in every sense of the word. But let's break this down. We do have an article that goes into more depth about this whole entire situation, and this is definitely worth exploring. Okay, so I know you guys probably can't fully see the title, or if you can, okay, there we go. Yeah, you can see the title. Square Enix loses $62 million in the quarter. It released Marvel's Avengers. This is coming from NME, which is a website with a terrible amount of ads, but this is my sacrifice as a consumer for not running ad block. I salute you, journalists, I salute you. And this article is coming from Daniel Hollis, so thank you, Daniel. We have the same first name, so I'm pretty sure he's an amazing guy. So Square Enix HD Games Division's earnings for the quarter it released Marvel's Avengers is in the red, according to a new report. The latest earnings report from the company reveals that despite growth in the first half of the fiscal year, which I'm pretty sure is when they released Final Fantasy VII Remake, the company showed a loss of $62 million from July to September 2020, the quarter it released Marvel's Avengers, per Video Game Chronicle. During the same period, it also has been, there should be an apostrophe S, right? Yeah. It should be a contraction. Sorry, I used to work in a newspaper, okay? I looked for these things. During the same period, it has also been reported that the overall net sales for the Japanese company were 23.7 billion yen, a 30%. No, it should just be percent. That should be combined, not percent, not per pen. A 30% decrease. Sorry, my editor's brain is just going up. Decrease from the previous quarter's result of 34.1 billion yen. The previous quarter featured the launch of Final Fantasy VII Remake launching on a single platform. while Marvel's Avengers released on multiple systems. Dang. Oof, that really hurts the pride right there. Final Fantasy VII Remake releases on one platform, does infinitely better. Marvel's Avengers releases on everything. Critical disaster. Games industry analyst David Gibson also took to Twitter to report new details. Oh, hello, website, you're freaking out. I love it. New details on the company's losses, including the potential development costs of Marvel's Avengers. Ooh, juicy, juicy, juicy. We don't really get into development costs of video games too much. These companies try to keep that very, very close to the chest. Gibson stated that Square Enix reported a 6.5 billion yen loss for HD games driven by Marvel's Avengers. Oof. And that the company would not say how many sold, but that the volumes were 60% of plan. Ooh. Ooh. I'm not even an investor and I'm mad. Oh boy, okay. According to Gibson, he estimates that the game costs over $100 million to make, but only sold 3 million copies or so, give or take. Okay. He also added the total cost of the game is closer to 170 million to 190 million, given that they only expenses 70% of the costs in the quarter plus marketing costs. Honestly, for a game like Avengers, I'd probably give it more than 70 to 90 million dollars for marketing. I mean, maybe you could make the case that because COVID was going on, there was less physical marketing, but I don't know, man. They spent a pretty penny on marketing a Marvel's Avengers game. And then we have here the actual tweets by David Gibson. Blah, 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 blah. So yeah, these are all generally the things that we read. Marvel's Avengers, it looks like the total cost of the game is closer. Yeah. Square are adamant that they can make a recovery. What it said, okay, so he has more. Why someone didn't say stop post the multiplayer beta will remain a mystery. Yeah, that's true. Square are adamant that they can make a recovery. Oh, well, that's good. They have hope. The company recently spoke out about the dwindling player numbers for Marvel's Avengers and said it's confident that players will return to the game. I don't know. I don't feel like returning. It later released a blog post confirming the delay of next-gen versions and Kate Bishop expansion with details on how the game will move forward in the future. Yeah, and that's the thing. The first character that you're banking on to try to bring people back is not Hawkeye, but his apprentice Kate Bishop. And Hawkeye is coming later. Hawkeye, who was part of the original Avengers in the comic books and is also a big part of the movies and the franchises and merchandising and all that stuff. That's the character you choose to go second after a disastrous launch. I would highly re-examine their priorities if I were them and release them both at the same time. That's just a mess. That's just the absolute mess. That way, I would delay everything to 2021, release Kate Bishop and Hawkeye at the same time, so that way people get the Kate Bishop story missions and the Hawkeye story missions, and it all flows into one another. And knowing based off of how Avengers goes, the missions are going to be terrible anyways, so at least you'll have a high quantity of terrible missions that make it feel like it's worthwhile of being able to play those characters. So we'll see how it goes. The company explained how it aims to push the game forward with focus on 4 key pillars: performance and stability, multiplayer and matchmaking, rewards, and late game content. These pillars should already have been established before the game release. Okay, you know, I get ahead of myself. Let's finish the article. It stated that the problems highlighted do not align with the company's value of craftsmanship, and it will be adding a new community-driven features to reinvigorate the game. Ooh, boy. In NME's review of Marvel's Avengers, the game was described as a movie magic that turns to dust thanks to an uninspired grind. That's good. But praised its fantastic storyline and well-realized characters. I do have to admit, Most of the Avengers are good. Black Widow's good. Kamala Khan is phenomenal in that game. Captain America's fine. Tony Stark he's fine, I guess. Thor's fine. I don't like Bruce Banner in this. Just mostly his voice. Yeah. Actually, I take that back. Only like a handful of the characters in the game, but the story was really good and it was really engaging. And I would watch it if it was a real film, you know, like cinematic film, or if it was animated. But that concludes our article. Thank you to our good friend Daniel Hollis. Although his editor should have looked over this story just one more time and cut a couple of these errors. But with that being said, guys, yeah. Wow. Hold on, let me Google if Square Enix has a video game coming up. Release schedule. Because I don't know if they're just banking on Avengers to try to fix things. Okay, so yeah, they have Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memories is going to be coming out. Dragon Quest. Collection Final Fantasy Legend. Okay. All right, so they're gonna have a couple more games coming out that'll help balance things out. They got the Nier. Yeah. The new Nier game is gonna be coming out in by April. Well, that's gonna be out of it. But okay, so they're gonna have a couple more games to help ease the burden that Marvel's Avengers is gonna do. But yeah, it seems like they're gonna kind of bank heavily on people wanting to come back to Marvel's Avengers. But unless they do what I recommended, where you just revamp a whole bunch of content, fix matchmaking, that's the only way you can do it. I still don't think it changes the base core issues of the game just being very mediocre and uninspired when it comes to combat. And a lot of the people who really over glorify the combat in this game, I truly believe have not played a good action game. Like, I'm pretty sure the only thing they've ever played is probably like God of War, the new one. And they're like, well, this was made by the same guy, so obviously this system is a masterpiece. And I'm like, yeah, but go play Devil May Cry 5 and then come back to me and then tell me that Marvel's Avengers has depth when it comes to combat. Heck, even if you compare it to the God of War 4, God of War 2018, 2019, whichever one it was, but compared to the God of War, the combat has way more depth in those games than it does in Marvel's Avengers, and that's the crux of what everything is. And the number one thing that kept me playing for 50 hours was being able to play with my friend, even though it was like trying to do brain surgery on myself blindfolded, just because the system was so acidine and so full of issues and bugs and crashes and all sorts of stuff. So they have a lot to work through. This is definitely an Anthem situation all over again. I don't know how they're gonna crawl out of the hole. This is it's something. It's something. But I mean, what that guy, that analyst brought up, Dave Gibson, he's got a point. Like, why didn't someone say no? Like I said, like, no matter what you feel about this game and all these people who get on these subreddits and are like, well, you know, the game's gonna get better and the game's gonna, don't worry, it's gonna get patched and everything's gonna be fine. Here's the thing. This is the delayed version of the game. I need to stress that. I need to reiterate that. The version that came out that was a complete mess and a disaster of a video game was released, and they were like, yeah, this is what we have to show you after we had extended time. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. This is they got a lot of work cut out for them, and I'm not envious of their position. It's going to take a lot for me to come back to this game, and I feel like the same way for a lot of other players, especially with the launch of these new consoles coming. There's so many other experiences and multiplayer experiences they're going to be coming. The last thing people are going to want to do is like boot up Marvel's Avengers again, you know? Especially if you want a good superhero game. You know, Spider-Man Remastered's about to come out. Miles Morales is about to come out. Want some good co-op? There's going to be plenty of other options. So, best of luck. Godspeed. Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix. Godspeed. With that being said, guys, let me know what you think about this whole entire situation in the comment sections down below. Do you think they can truly make a comeback, not only recoup this money, but bring back player interest and make this game interesting again, make Marvel's Avengers great again, even though it wasn't great to begin with? Can they do it? Let me know in the comment sections down below, guys. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you go down there and hit that like button. And if you're new here, subscribe to become a part of the GeekSpeakNation channel. And make sure that you hit that bell icon and set it to all so you always get notified of when I post a new video. I really do appreciate you guys watching this video. It really means a lot. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Daniel. I stream Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays over at twitch.tv/GeekSpeakGaming at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So come over, check me out, and we're having an extra stream this week on Thursday at 8 p.m. No, at 12 p.m. noon. At noon, we're having an extra stream to unbox a PlayStation 5, and we're going to be playing some not Marvel's Avengers, Psych, Spider-Man Miles Morales. So come on over. It's going to be a good time. I really hope you stop by and we can chat. Be a good stuff. Be some good stuff. But all that being said, guys, I'm Daniel, and don't forget to get geeky.